Imagine I'm giving a talk, wanting to make a point to the congregation. I turn around, open the ark, take out a Torah, and throw it to the ground to show them how upset I am with what the community might be doing. You would think that's nuts. The Torah is not a prop to do an event like that. Well, that's indeed what Moses did. Moses did worse. He took the luchot, the tablets, and he threw it to the ground, smashed them. And you know what? There aren't any other luchot. The next set we got was not the same level. The first set was the handiwork of God. The next set, Moses had to carve out the stone from under his tent, a piece of sapphire, gave it to God, and God carved the luchos in it. Yet Moshe had no limitation and to do something so drastic and so crazy. So what was behind it? So what is the story in general? Moses goes up on the mountain. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up on the mountain on the 7th of Sivan. He tells the Jewish people he's coming in 40 days. 40 days would turn out to be, you would think, 16th of Tammuz. Well, the Jews wait the 16th of Tammuz. Moshe is not back. They say, hey, our GPS is gone. Our leader is gone. We don't know where and what to go. We need to create a leader. We need a God to lead us. Besides that, it says that Satan created an image in the heavens as the Jews looked up that seemed like a coffin with Moshe in it and a procession of some kind of a funeral. So they thought, oh, that's it. Moshe's gone. So they went to the leaders who were remaining, Hur, the nephew of Moshe, son of Miriam, and Aaron. And first they went to Hur, and Hur say, hold on, guys, calm down. Moshe's coming back. Listen. They say, what do you mean? He had that food on top of the mountain for 40 days. How could he live? He says, hey, he's done greater miracles than that. But it didn't help. In their frenzy, they just killed him. Aaron sees this. He figures, oh, I better be, if I'm going to be outside of them, telling them how wrong they are, all they're going to do is kill me too and do whatever they want in any event. So he tried to delay them, and he says to them, okay, give me the gold of your wives. So they didn't give the wives gold. They gave them their own gold. He threw it into the fire. All of a sudden, this calf comes out, and it's still then. Aaron says, "Okay, come back tomorrow. I'm going to make an altar, and we'll celebrate tomorrow." Well, he makes this altar, and tomorrow they all wake up early, and Moshe Rabbeinu is there and worship the golden calf. Moshe then is sitting, so to speak, with God, and God tells him, "Go down. Your people have sinned." Moses takes the luchos that God has given him, the tablets, and he comes down to the mountain, down the bottom of the mountain. He sees the celebration around the idol, and he takes and he throws down the luchot and smashes it into pieces. And that's the question. What was that all about? Why smash the luchot? So there's a number of reasons given, but I'll give one reason given by the Bal Akedah. He says that, well, let me come from this perspective. I have a colleague who relates that he has a son who had a son who didn't want to wake up. He'd spend a half hour every morning to get him up. A teenager who wouldn't get up. So he went to get some advice. And the advisor says to him, listen, you're making a mistake by trying to wake him up for a half hour every day. You wake him up once. If he doesn't get up, leave it to himself. Let him make that decision. So the first day he didn't wake him up. He woke up at 9 o'clock, obviously coming late to school. The next day he wakes up at 11 o'clock. But the third day he wakes up on time, and from then he didn't have to wake him up at all. And there's a message here. The idea is in education that if you are on top of someone, get up, do this, do that, do the other, then the person himself is reliant on the other person who's on top of them, who's their educator, so to speak, who's their parent, and they don't take responsibility for their own actions. Everything is associated with the one who they're in their charge, and so therefore my waking up, so to speak, is not my own. It's their responsibility, and I don't take responsibility for my own life. The moment you remove yourself and you say, okay, here, you take responsibility for your life, that's when we have to make that decision. Hey, what is my life going to be at that point? When Moses comes down the mountain and he sees the Jews worshiping the golden calf, literally like a bride having an affair under her chuppah, he he says, you know what? Until now, the education was not right. We gave them everything: physical, spiritual, manna from heaven, the well from Miriam, splitting sea, saving them from Egyptians. They don't even have to fight. Hashem does it all for them. And then there's a revelation of God in the Torah, the spiritual revelation, the physical revelation. Everything the Jews needed was given to them on a silver platter. And this is what came from it. Moshe thinks that this is the moment that they become responsible for their own life. And so he smashes the luchos as a message to say, no, you're not getting things from up there anymore. You're going to have to do the work yourself. And that did. It shocked them into tshuva, for them to feel regret and to return to what they're meant to be. And then when the mitzvah of building the Mishkan came along, when Moses told them, okay, let's build the ark, this is the tabernacle, as a way of atonement for the sin of the golden calf, they all came donating really quickly. As a matter of fact, in 2 days, they had all that the nations needed, and Moshe had to say, enough. We have enough for what we need. Because what Moshe did was get them out of their rut and involve them in their own life. And this in itself is true with Moshe himself as well. Here's the fascinating thing. At the end of the Torah portion, we read how Moshe, when he came down with his second set of luchot, his face shone to such a degree that the Jews could not come close to him. So the question is, why only the second luchot? Why not the first? Rabbi Soloveitchik came to visit the Rebbe at the 30th anniversary of his leadership in 1980. I was there, present at that Farbrengen, at that gathering. He sat for about 3 hours, after which the Rebbe gave him much honor as he left the gathering. His students asked him, so, you knew the Rebbe back in Berlin, before 1933. You were together in the university. What could you say about the Rebbe? And what do you see now? He says, he asked this question about Moses. Why did his face shine only after the second luchot? And he said, after the first luchot, Moshe was a student. He was still a student of God. In the second luchot, Moshe became a leader, because Moshe did an act to bring a act of tremendous leadership, knowing what the Jewish people needed. He took matters into his own hand. He wasn't told by God to do this. And therefore, there are those who ask the question, hey, if you don't want to give them luchah, give it back to God. No, Moshe says, this is the act that will shake them out of where they are. This is what that needs to happen now, both to save them, which is another explanation that I gave at another time, and to bring them into another realization that, hey, we have to be in control of our own life. And so therefore, when you're a student, when you're receiving, so then what you're receiving is not part of you. But when you become a leader, then that exudes from you. What you have, what you receive from Hashem, exudes from you. So beforehand, the first luchot, he was a recipient. So his own body, so to speak, did not reflect the Torah. But once he became a leader, once he took ownership, then it exuded out of him and his face shone in an amazing way. And we could say maybe this is the situation that we're in today as a Jewish people. We've had this terrible event that happened after on October 7th. But we see an unbelievable response by so many. There was an interview with a soldier who literally went into Kfar Aza Saturday night of Simchas Torah. Eitan Ariel is his name. And this was printed in one of the publications that come out for Shabbat. And he says, this Eitan Ariel says that he was there on Saturday night, and the army tells them, listen, you're going into Kfar Aza. We know there's many dead people. There are terrorists hanging around. You got to go and try to clean it up. We don't know the details. We can't tell you much. But hey, we're relying on you to do the job. And he was thinking to himself, as he's going in and as they're walking double file into Gaza with great trepidation and concern, he starts singing a hymn from Yom Kippur. To you, my God, is my passion. You are my heart. You are my soul. You are my life. You are my bones. You're my flesh. You're my blood. You're everything. I give you my life. He was saying to himself, I could have said, no, I don't want to go in. Nothing would happen to me. Many people didn't go. They could have saved themselves by other ways. But at this moment of truth, I said to myself, do I want to be God's? I want to be God's, and I want to be a representative of the Jewish people. And I'm here to give, we and me, myself, and all the soldiers, we gave our lives to God. We became an extension of Hashem to save his people at that moment. Wow. Wow. So in this darkness, people made choices themselves. People made their own choices to do what's right and to give themselves over to a higher purpose in a most remarkable way. We salute them, and may they be the inspiration for all of the Jewish people to commit from below, that we understand we are in history, and indeed we will be successful and bring about the ultimate redemption, and God will be revealed to all of us on earth. Good Shabbos.